Here is something that almost nobody is telling you. And if you are over 40 and you have been eating tomatoes thinking you are doing something powerful for your heart and your blood flow, you are absolutely right. But you are also making one quiet mistake that is cutting your results nearly in half, silently, every single day. And the frustrating part is this: it is not about eating the wrong food, you have the right food. You are just missing one small thing that determines whether your body actually uses what you are giving it, or whether it passes right through you without ever reaching your bloodstream. For men and women over 40, that difference matters more than most people realize, because what we are talking about touches your circulation, your blood pressure, your energy levels, the way your heart works, and the way your body manages inflammation day after day, the part of your health that you feel in real, everyday ways. Whether you wake up feeling rested and strong, or whether the fatigue starts before the morning is even over. I am Dr. Michael Kim, and here on Wellness Daily, I share honest, plain language information about how your body works and what it actually needs. No complicated medical terms, no fear. No products to sell, just the truth about your biology and the simplest way to work with it. By the end of this video, you will have one small daily habit, something you can start tonight, that can meaningfully increase how much of tomatoes' most powerful healing compound actually enters your bloodstream. And that single change has a direct effect on your blood pressure, your circulation, and your vascular health. Stay with me until the end. I am saving the third method specifically for people who deal with high blood pressure, and it is the one most people never think of. Let me start with something I genuinely wish more people understood, because it changes everything about how you think about food. Inside your tomato, there is a compound called lycopene. That is the pigment that gives tomatoes their deep red color. But lycopene is not just a color, it is one of the most well-studied antioxidants in the human body, and I want you to understand what that actually means in plain language. Picture your blood vessels like pipes running through your entire body. Over time, and especially as you age, those pipes collect damage. Oxidative stress is the scientific name for it, but the simple version is this. Every single day, unstable molecules called free radicals attack the walls of your blood vessels. They damage the lining. They make the walls stiff and inflamed. They slow your blood flow. They push your blood pressure upward. And they interfere with your body's ability to produce a molecule called nitric oxide, which is the chemical your blood vessels need to stay open, flexible, and working properly. Lycopene interrupts that damage at the source. Research published in the journal Atherosclerosis, after analyzing 21 intervention trials across thousands of patients, found that lycopene supplementation reduced systolic blood pressure by an average of nearly 6 millimeters of mercury. That is not a small shift. In clinical medicine, a reduction of 5 to 6 points in systolic blood pressure is the kind of result that doctors use medications to achieve, and tomatoes can do it through food. The same body of research found measurable improvements in endothelial function, the health of that thin, paper-like lining inside your blood vessels, the lining that controls whether your vessels constrict or open, whether your blood flows freely or fights resistance. Flow-mediated dilation, which is the technical measure of how well your blood vessels expand in response to blood flow, improved by over 2.5% in people consuming tomato products. That is a real, measurable change in how your vascular system is performing. And a separate randomized controlled trial found that lycopene improved endothelium-dependent vasodilation by 53% in patients who already had cardiovascular disease. 53%. That is not a marginal improvement. That is the kind of change that people feel. Now here is the part most health videos never tell you, and I want you to stay right here, because this is the piece that changes everything. This is where most people close the video and miss the part that actually matters. Because you can eat tomatoes every day of your life and be getting a fraction of this benefit, and you would never know it. Lycopene is fat soluble. 2 words that matter more than almost anything else in this video. Let me explain what that means in a way that makes permanent sense. Think about what happens when you pour oil into a glass of water. It separates immediately. The oil floats to the top no matter how hard you stir it. They simply do not mix. Your gut works the same way. Lycopene is built by nature to travel through fat, not through water. Without fat present in the same meal, your digestive system cannot properly absorb it. It moves through your intestine, it exits your body, and it never reaches your bloodstream. Your blood vessels never feel its effect. Your nitric oxide levels stay exactly where they were. But when fat is present alongside it, the research is remarkable. A controlled human study found that people who consumed tomatoes cooked with extra virgin olive oil showed an 82% increase in plasma lycopene levels compared to those who ate tomatoes without oil. 82%. That is not a marginal difference in absorption. That is your body going from receiving a fraction of what you ate to receiving nearly all of it. And another study confirmed it from a different angle. When researchers added olive oil to tomato juice and compared it to tomato juice alone, all lycopene compounds increased significantly in the group consuming it with oil. LDL cholesterol and total cholesterol decreased meaningfully in that same group, and the maximum concentration in the bloodstream was reached within 24 hours of a single meal with the right combination. That is what we are talking about today. Not a new food, not a supplement, not a protocol. One small addition to what you are already eating. Let me put it in a picture you will not forget. Imagine two people, both 55 years old, both eating tomatoes every single day, both thinking they are doing the same thing for their heart health. The first person eats them the way they always have, plain, on a plate, maybe with a little salt. The second person learned one thing, and they started adding a drizzle of extra virgin olive oil. 6 months later, same people, same food, same age, same tomatoes. But one of them has measurably better circulation. Their blood pressure has moved in the right direction. Their body is producing more nitric oxide. Their vessels are more flexible, more open, more responsive. And the only difference between them was one small addition that costs almost nothing. That is what fat solubility means in real life. That is why this matters. Here is exactly what happens inside your body when you combine tomatoes with extra virgin olive oil. And I am going to explain it in plain language. No medical degree required. The moment this combination reaches your small intestine, the healthy fats in olive oil wrap around the lycopene molecules from the tomato like a protective vehicle. Think of it like a delivery truck. Without the truck, these healing compounds are standing on the side of the road going nowhere. Nobody picks them up, nobody gets them to where they need to go. The olive oil is the truck. It does two things simultaneously. First, it slows these compounds as they travel through your intestine, giving the tiny absorption points in your gut wall the time they need to pull them fully into your bloodstream. Second, it physically enables their uptake in a way that simply cannot happen without fat present. Once lycopene enters your bloodstream, it travels to the inner lining of your blood vessels. There it begins doing two separate things at once. It neutralizes the free radicals that damage the vessel walls, protecting the very system that produces nitric oxide. And at the same time, it reduces the oxidative stress that normally shuts nitric oxide production down. Less oxidative stress means more nitric oxide. More nitric oxide means vessels that stay open and relaxed, vessels that let blood flow the way they were designed to. And extra virgin olive oil contributes beyond just being a carrier. Research has shown that quality olive oil contains its own protective compounds, particularly oleocanthal and oleic acid, that independently support the same endothelial system on top of everything the tomato is already doing. So you are not just improving delivery, you are triggering two separate pathways of vascular protection at the same time. That is the synergy. That is why this combination is different from anything else you will read about online. Now let me give you 3 practical, simple ways to use this starting tonight. No special equipment, nothing expensive, just real food used the right way. The first method is the most direct and the most powerful. Slice 2 medium tomatoes. Drizzle 1 full tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil directly over them. Add a small pinch of sea salt and a few fresh basil leaves if you have them. Then let it rest for 5 minutes before you eat it. That 5-minute pause matters. It gives the oil time to begin coating the lycopene before digestion even starts. Eat this alongside any meal, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It does not matter. The easiest approach is to anchor it to whichever meal you already eat at the same time every day. Stack it onto an existing habit and it becomes automatic. The second method works beautifully if you prefer warm food or if raw tomatoes are hard on your stomach. Dice 3 to 4 ripe tomatoes and add them to a pan with 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil over medium-low heat. Cook them for just 8 to 10 minutes, stirring gently. Do not overcook them. You are not making a sauce. You are softening them just enough. Research shows that gentle heating actually increases lycopene availability from tomatoes because it breaks down the cell walls that hold lycopene bound inside the tomato tissue, making it even more accessible. Finish with a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. The vitamin C in lemon actively supports the same nitric oxide producing system in your blood vessel walls. Eat this over eggs in the morning, over grilled fish at dinner, or alongside whatever protein you are already having. Make a larger batch and it keeps in the refrigerator for 2 days. Prepare it once, use it twice, and the habit takes care of itself. The third method is the one most people never think of, and it is especially meaningful if blood pressure is something you are watching. Blend 4 ripe tomatoes with 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, a small garlic clove, a pinch of sea salt, and the juice of half a lemon. No heat required. Drink it as a small glass alongside your largest meal of the day. The reason this works particularly well for blood pressure is that you are combining lycopene's direct antioxidant protection of your vessel walls with olive oil's oleic acid, which has its own clinically studied effect on blood pressure and vascular tone. You are hitting the system from 3 directions at once: lycopene neutralizing the oxidative stress, nitric oxide production coming back online, and the anti-inflammatory compounds in olive oil reducing the chronic low-grade inflammation that stiffens vessels over time. Here is what I want every person watching today to carry with them after this video. Your body's ability to use what you give it is not fixed. It is not something that simply declines after 40 and stays that way. It responds directly and measurably to the combinations you choose. And when you start giving it the right combinations, food working with food the way nature designed it to, you feel the difference. Better circulation, steadier blood pressure, more energy in the morning, less inflammation in the body you live in every single day. A level of vascular health that perhaps you had quietly started to believe was already behind you, but it is not. I have worked with people in their 60s and 70s who made changes exactly like this one and told me they felt more like themselves than they had in years. Not because of a drug, not because of a supplement, because they started giving their body what it already knew how to use. Here on Wellness Daily, this is what we do. We take the science seriously and we translate it into something you can actually put on your plate tonight. Not fear, not complexity, not something expensive, just the truth about how your body works and the simplest, honest way to support it. 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil over your tomatoes every single day. That is the message. Small habit, real science, meaningful results if you stay consistent. Your health is worth protecting, and the tools to protect it have been sitting in your kitchen the entire time. If this gave you something real today, please take 2 seconds and give this video a thumbs up. It helps Wellness Daily reach more people who need this information, and that is genuinely why we do this work. Subscribe so you never miss a new video, and leave a comment right now. Tell me where you are watching from and whether you are going to try the tomato and olive oil combination today. I read every comment, and hearing from people all around the world who are showing up for their health is what keeps this channel going. There is a video right there on your screen that I want you to watch next. The people who watch it tell me it was the one that genuinely changed how they felt day to day. Watch it now. Your future self will be glad you did. This video is for educational purposes only. The information shared here does not constitute medical advice and is not a substitute for professional medical guidance, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your physician or a qualified healthcare provider before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you have pre-existing cardiovascular conditions, are currently taking prescription medications, or have been diagnosed with any chronic health condition.